we are the Smolix champion and of course Ferrari's biggest fan, as we are now going to go to the second third of the 2026 FIA Formula 1 season, or the second fourth, depending on how you see it, with one of our favorite rounds, because it's one of the circuits that we've been to, and of course after the crown jewel of Monaco, it must be the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, located on the outskirts in the Montmeló there in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. Oh yay! That's right. So on this beautiful, well-designed Scuderia red Ferrari calendar, you can see that this will effectively be around 9, or if you see it as around 7 of this championship, and it is the proper start of the European leg, of course, which makes up the heart of the Formula 1 season. And there's plenty to tell you in this exclusive race introduction. So we will take a look at some of the news, because of course after that jam-packed Monaco Grand Prix, there have been a couple of changes, especially to the final result. So we will then talk about that Monaco race reaction, and of course, tell you about the updated Formula 1 drivers and Formula 1 Constructors Championship, which especially at the bottom end can have some serious repercussions. Then we will also take a look at a very important set of the news with relation to the ice. The ice over here will not be the ice that you will need during the hot summer days, as obviously this is the last race that takes place fully before my happy birthday, happy wedding anniversary, and still in the technically spring season, because the summer starts obviously next week, the next Sunday to be precise. So we will tell you about the news about that internal combustion engine, because obviously there are some of the rules that relate to the development of the cars, and the rules are actually very interestingly worded, and the way the FIA has examined all of the 5 manufacturers obviously of the power units, they have come up with some really surprising results, which can have a big repercussions on how the future developments will go. And of course for us as Scuderia Ferrari, it's actually a really good news. So we will take a look at it. We will also tell you about that all new kind of the weekend setup again, for the second third of the season, pretty much just like during the previous 2 seasons, because now the new F1 26 game, or really the 2026 DLC season pack, has been released on the top of the F1 25 game, which means that we will do the F1 26 laps over here to really show you just how great it is to be racing with these all new super innovative Formula 1 cars. That's right. So, I'm really looking forward to it. So, I haven't tried it, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia at the time, obviously, of the recording, but I hope it will be very successful, and you guys will finally get to learn how some amazing drivers and the world champions are really, hustling these wonderful machines around. So, we will take a look at that, and after the drivers and the constructors table, we will then, of course, also talk about how successful I've been here. And as you can see, the big change from Monaco to Barcelona, of course, is that there must be many more trophies. Barcelona has always been very kind to me, or most of the times, but especially in qualifying when I've always been in the top row. So that's absolutely very important. And of course, we will also mention the FC, the Football Club Barcelona, how amazing the club it is. Again, we are using the FC Barcelona shoes to hold our beautiful scarlet Scuderia red Ferrari iMac to record the iPhone, to record this beautiful video. The iMac obviously is over here, on which you will see all of the data and all of the data and the illustration, and of course us celebrating. We just really can't wait to finally win the Champions League with FC Barcelona, and of course the FIFA Club World Cup, which really is where Barca should be. And I think the future is very bright, especially if you are the young athlete nowadays. So yeah, we will talk about that. But is the future really bright for the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia? That's another topic. We hope so. We hope that the track can stay on the calendar, but again, it does have a contract to rotate with, of course, the Belgian Grand Prix, which should happen in earnest, in the next couple of years. So we will see over here, how exactly this will develop. And already there are some changes on the Ferrari.com website with regards to this fact that we now, as you can also see on the 2D calendar, have 2 races in Spain, obviously in Barcelona, the Olympic city, and the capital city of Madrid. So let's start here in our traditional race introduction in this wonderful Formula 1 2026 fashion with some of the news, right? So coming on the back of the heels of a really pulsating Monaco Grand Prix, the stewards have then eventually decided to strip the Cadillac of that single point because Sergio Perez again overshot his grid box, which of course almost happened to me as well, right? But yeah, that is really a silly mistake that will cost them dearly, because I think that will decide who will end up 10th and 11th, because I don't see them really having a chance in any of the remaining races, even though again you never know what might happen. But you know, with Monaco being the outlier in terms of that you cannot overtake, it's actually the best chance, especially for Cadillac and Aston Martin, to get a point. So Fernando Alonso has gotten his solitary point. Maybe he won't even be on a grid, probably shouldn't be really heading into the next season. Again, you know, he will be closer to 50, 10, 40. It's amazing he can still keep running. But Aston Martin have scored the points. Actually, that crash of Lance Stroll and sadly our Leclerc's crash kind of helped them with that. And as a result, it is Aston Martin that is 10th, Cadillac 11. So these are the big changes. Also there are some appeals. So at the moment of the recording, it is possible that Alpine could have been reinstated to the podium position. But I believe, you know, as we learn more about so many of the pit stop speeding penalties, you know, why exactly they were applied. You know, I think the FIA explained it very clearly that, you know, some of the drivers simply, you know, cut over the white line, you know, to have the shortest, the shortest kind of run, you know, to, I believe, the exit of the pits. But you have to understand, just like we teach in our physics classes, that the speed is recorded as distance over time. So obviously, once you cut, you know, the distance, you know, then of course you know, you also cut the time. You will change the ratio. You will then affect the speed, and you know, even though you are still on a speed limiter, it's just meant that you were maybe 0.1, 0.2, 0.4 kph kilometers per hour over the speed limit. So I don't think anything will change on that front. But what will change is the development of the internal combustion engine. So there are the additional development that allow the unit tokens, I believe, you know, which are called the ADUO. And you know what basically that is, that you know the engines, they will be examined, I believe, you know, after every 6th race, you know, to see exactly, you know, who has the greatest advantage, and then the other teams, obviously, if they are lacking in the power or, for example, the performance, you know, then they can have that development. And of course, is surprisingly, it is the Ford engine, or really the Red Bull engine, that is the strongest. I think nobody expected that, but that will be bad news for them, considering how unreliable they are, and they don't seem really fast, you know, that fast on the straights sometimes. I mean, you know, everybody thought it's the Mercedes engine. Antonelli dominated at high downforce in Monaco, where the engine is not that important. So that's a big issue, obviously, you know, that we have over here, because yes, it means that Mercedes will be actually allowed to develop the engine a little bit more, but as Scuderia Ferrari, we will be given the double the development time of Mercedes-Benz. So actually, it can be a pretty good news, because you know, we kind of expected that Red Bull Ford engine to be third. So you know, this allows us to, you know, put further distance between ourselves and them, and of course, you know, catch up and hopefully overtake Mercedes, which should be easier, as obviously the piston compression ratio will be at full display at Barcelona, that features some long straights. So it will be a very interesting, and I think it will really help us, because obviously we were always losing on the straights, but in Monaco Grand Prix, that you know, absolutely blistering pace of Antonelli, you know, has been very alarming, and it's raised a lot of the alarm bells around the Maranello, I have to admit that. But you know, this could be a cracking race, and you know, the Barcelona circuit is always used for the testing. The main reason is because it features all types of corners, including the long straight. So you have especially some of the medium speed corners, you have the chicanes, you have the high speed corners, slow speed corners, you know, as well. And this is very important, right? Because it shows, you know, the great overall package of the car. So if we can win here, I think we can still salvage the season, even though in the Constructors' Championship, I think it's everything to play for, because we are still, I think, less than 2 race distances, you know, from Mercedes-Benz, but Antonelli has almost 3 race victories now, the gap to Lewis Hamilton, who is second. So that is obviously a massive difference. So these are the biggest changes over here, and we are looking forward to some cracking races in Barcelona. Remember when the rules changed last time 4 years ago in 2022? Of course, Charles Leclerc was on pole position and could have won the race, but hopefully the Ferrari engine won't blow up. So shall we take a look at the circuit? Of course, of course, of course. So let me turn around. The Scuderia Red Regina I make over here. This is how it looks like. Look at that flag over there, which of course features the red and yellow of Catalonia. And now it won't be called the Spanish Grand Prix. So actually on the Ferrari.com website, you cannot actually see the the statistics results, right? As a result, which is kind of a pity, I have to say. So we will just pull them up from the regular Spanish Grand Prix, because that's really what Barcelona has hosted. But now at least they will have it in the name. It is the Grand Prix of Barcelona, Catalonia. So over here, let's take a look at the circuit. So as we can see over here, the lap record being 1:15 will be difficult to beat, 66 laps, so that we can go over 300 kilometers of the race distance. And again, the race circuit located in a lovely village of Montmello, where we made some friends when we were obviously exploring the circuit. Definitely check out the YouTube videos, from the Circuit de Montmello, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We've also driven our, the sports car, the Ferrari SF488 Spider, which was, absolutely a great occasion, even though we went maybe a bit too slow, because obviously, these test drives, they don't really want you to push the car. But yeah, it was great. The track is very smooth, and with the way the cars are now, with less bouncing, I think will be very, very enjoyable, and overtaking should also be quite good over here. So we will see again how it will go. You can see the track. It was again introduced 1 year before the very famous 1992 Barcelona Olympics, which really brought the professionals into the amateur world of the Olympics. And we will show you this particular track. Obviously, in the hot lab, we're still doing it in F1 25 cars, but now brand new for the new F1 26 hot lab. So definitely stay tuned, which means that this race introduction will now come 24 hours before the free practice one, and then you will have the F1 25, the traditional hot lap, as the free practice one will get underway. And when free practice 2 gets underway, you will see the new F1 26 hot lap, and then the red hot lap, of course, will be during the free practice 3, so that will remain unchanged. Then we will see the qualifying, if I can plant it over here on my 4th pole position, and of course we will then see the race, and the race reaction will be 24 hours after the race. So here, this track, definitely stay tuned. I mean, it's a really great viewing spots are from the podium, which is located over here. That's where you can have the driver's experience as well, with the Ferraris, or even with the regular F1, or most likely F2 or F3 cars. You will be going down the straight with the straight mode, so it will be interesting as the straight mode returns, how well that will be handled. And of course, we really hope we will be competitive down this main straight, because if yes, I think the season can be salvaged. Then going through the chicane, turns 1 and 2 over here, it is again very important to be very precise, going through the corners. Turn 3, obviously that's where Hamilton and Rosberg came very close and crashed right before the turn 4. It is very important again to get on the power as quickly as possible over here, to straighten it then into the turn 5, where Verstappen basically cost himself the 5th championship that he could have equaled Michael Schumacher, but he ran into Russell over here and gotten that penalty that dropped him from 5th to 10th, so he definitely lost all of the points that he was behind in the championship. Then turn 7 is a no-brainer, just a little flick, it really feels like a straight. Turn 7 and 8, it's very important to avoid the sausage curbs. Turn 9 is blind, so you gotta make sure you throw the car over there, and I will show you some special tricks. We will see if they will work with the F1 26 cars. And this was named as a pretty long straight, by the instructors where we were doing the hot lap. But actually, I have to say, it kind of didn't feel like it, to be perfectly honest with you, when we were doing it. But here it is very important in the reprofile section to have to be late on the brakes and have a nice rotation, almost get out of the line, so that you can straighten the line through turns 11 and 12, because then the turn 12, it's really all about positioning the car, just letting it go around the turn and then go full power pretty much from then on, because the chicane is gone, which makes the lap very, very very quick. The lap 13, 14, for an F1 car, it's, the downforce, the current cars should still be able to handle it. And I think, if you have a pretty good battery and if you can handle that acceleration, this could be great overtaking spot. So we will see how exactly that will go. So this is how the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya looks like. This is the reprofile turn. So you can see that before, obviously, you would be turning in a little bit earlier, but now you can go nice and around. And you can see that there is no data, right? So we will pull the data from here. This is how well Ferrari has done in the Spanish Grand Prix, which now the data is only for that new Mat Ring circuit, which will host the Spanish Grand Prix, because now this is effectively the Barcelona Catalunya Grand Prix. So we scored, magnificent 12 victories. As you can see over here, Michael Schumacher has obviously, scored, amazing victories over here. 5 pretty much, on the trot, and of course I will be aiming, to do something similar. Here with the pole positions, we actually have 14 over here, and fastest laps we actually have 16, but 39 podiums. So actually a happy hunting ground. So this is one of the circuits where we are, very strong, and overall just racing in Spain, obviously being, across the sea, so to speak, or if you go through the Monaco, it's been a happy hunting ground for Scuderia Ferrari. So we definitely think that we can be very competitive. Over here, podium will be the minimum, because if we take a look over here at how it looks like. So this is how well we have done here at the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya. Obviously a great track. This is how the Drivers' Championship looks like in the 2026-2026 season. So been updated, but Andrea Kimi Antonelli leading it with 156 points. That is an amazing performance by the teenager, and he's definitely on course going towards the championship. Lewis Hamilton being second now, 90 points. Again, it will be interesting to see, right? He's now de facto Ferrari #1, and actually the changing of the brakes, which Leclerc complained about, which cost him that retirement, even though I think, he simply didn't apply them properly, maybe touched them just too little, kind of like I did during the race. It will be interesting to see if the dynamic changes at the team, but hey, Hamilton or Leclerc, we don't mind, one of you. Please get Antonelli, because George Russell with 88 points, he really seems to be unraveling. So we will see if he can even come back over here. But again, anything is possible. But Antonelli with such a lead, that will make him actually very relaxed. And nobody who has won 5 races on a trot has ever lost the championship, so that means a lot. Now fourth is Charles Leclerc for Scuderia Ferrari, 75 points. It's a real pity that Leclerc didn't finish third, because then we would have been second and third on 90 points. Hamilton would have still been second, because he's gotten the 2 second places, and that would be a real Royal Ferrari fight. But yeah, that's sometimes how it is. Fifth is Oscar Piastri for McLaren, 60 points, so he's now ahead of the reigning world champion Lando Norris for McLaren, who is on 58 points. We will see also what that will do to their team. 7, Max Verstappen, Red Bull, 43 points, and cannot develop, that car, that internal combustion engine, which I'm sure he will be furious about. 8 is then Isaac Hadjar, Red Bull, 29 points, and 9, Liam Lawson, Racing Bulls, 26 points, 10, Pierre Gasly, Alpine, 26 points. Surprisingly is Liam Lawson on a comeback ahead of Gasly. And then we have 11th, Oliver Behrman has 18 points, 12, Franco Colapinto, Alpine, 15 points, 13, Arvid Lindblad, the only rookie, Racing Bulls, 13 points, 14, Carlos Sainz, Williams, 6 points, 15, Alexander Albon, Williams, 5 points. Sainz obviously very unhappy that he got undone, because now he and Albon again are almost equal in points. He got hit twice by Hülkenberg and by Colapinto. Really, he was super unlucky there at the hairpin. The 16, Esteban Ocon has 3 points. 17, Gabriel Bortoleto, Audi, 2 points. And 18 is Fernando Alonso, by far the oldest and most experienced driver now in the Formula 1 history for Aston Martin, 1 point, because Sergio Perez made a rookie mistake, couldn't slot into his grid slot. 19, Nico Hülkenberg, Audi, 0 points. 28 is now Valtteri Bottas, Cadillac, 0 points. Perez dropped 3 places to 21st, Sergio Perez, Cadillac, 0 points. 22nd, Lance Stroll, Aston Martin, 0 points. So cannot turn into the Anthony News chicane. So yeah, over here, this is how it looks like over here for the Drivers' Championship, and this is the Constructors' Championship, where we have actually a bigger chance of really reeling in Mercedes, who they are leading with 244 points, and we are behind on 165 points. So as you can see, 79 points behind, but there are 43 points on offer, and it's a real pity that Leclerc obviously lost to us quite a lot of the points, but pretty much the last 2 races we were the highest scoring, so 2 out of the 6 races, so it's looking good. But Barcelona will be a real test. If we're not competitive here, I have to say I don't mind celebrating Antonelli's title, because hey, he's Italian, like Scuderia Ferrari. And third is McLaren, 118 points. Then we have a fourth, Red Bull Racing, 72 points. Fifth, Alpine, 41 points. Sixth, Racing Bulls, 39 points. 7 Haas, 21 points. 8 Williams, 11 points. 9 Audi, 2 points. 10 Aston Martin. That's the critical point I talk about the beginning of the race introduction, 1 point, and that will probably mean they will get a prize money, and the new team Cadillac, 0 points. It means they probably won. So yeah, you know, at least one position could have been decided at the Monaco Grand Prix, and you know, yeah, that is a real big pity, right, for Cadillac. So this is how the Constructors' Championship looks like. This is how the Drivers' Championships looks like, of course, and we are going to go back to the Barcelona Catalunya circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It looks beautiful on the Scuderia Red Retina iMac. And now we can tell you about how well, you know, we have done here around this magnificent circuit. So as you can see right in front of me, you know, there are these 3 Formula 1 shiny golden Grand Prix winner trophies. I will be aiming for my 3rd victory, so definitely wish me luck. You know, it hasn't happened since I returned back in 2023 to the ground effect, you know, era racing, that I haven't won, you know, for 3 races in a row. So definitely I'm the big favorite, and I will have to do that because I'm leading only by a point from that Red Bull villain Max Verstappen. So all of a sudden he is there, and of course you know, we don't want him, for example, to be winning more than us. So wish me good luck with that. And you know, even though I might not, for example, win the race, you know, there is a very strong chance that I will be on the podium, because I've been here I won 2 times. And you know, I've been second 2 times, so that's 4 podiums, you know, and pretty much on a trot. And just the pre-ground effect era, in the turbo era, I've gotten 2 second places, and the 2 wins, obviously, in the ground effect era. And in 2010, you know, I completely messed up, but I was actually on pole position. So, you know, that's also interesting. I haven't gotten in a turbo era the pole. I was second and second, you know, but of course, you know, I've gotten 3 pole positions. We will be aiming for 4th. We are on a fantastic round of pole positions, and I definitely think, you know, we can get it. And also, you know, since 2017, we've always gotten the fastest lap, right? Only the first, you know, 2 Grand Prix we haven't, so we want to go for the 4th fastest lap over here. And that's very important, because if we can start getting the fastest laps, that means that we are genuinely the fastest, you know, cars on a track, not like in Monaco, where we were kind of having you know, at the end of the race, right, you know, we crashed, so we put on the new tires, right? It's kind of not so representative, but I thought, you know, we still, you know, had the pace of the front runners in Monaco, but here, you know, we really want to set the proper fastest lap, and definitely, you know, be on the podium. As I said, being here on the podium 4 times. So we will be aiming, you know, to really grow the collection. So wish me good luck with that. Again, you know, we're loving this back-to-back Formula 1 racing, as the championship battle is really heating up. We will see what will happen, as you have, you know, the youngest, obviously, teenager against, you know, the most successful driver, and one of the oldest, if not really the oldest driver on the grid, because does Alonso, the ex-Ferrari driver, really count? You know, that could be amazing fight. Antonelli, who replaced Hamilton and Benz, now going against Hamilton in a Ferrari. Hopefully Leclerc can go back, and you know, hopefully Mercedes will falter. So we will see what happens over here. I hope you enjoyed the race introduction, everybody. And now all I can say is, apart from Forza Barça, because of course FC Barcelona over here, you know, is always winning the title. So I hope all the players will be there. And with such a young team, it's so unlucky that we haven't gotten the Champions League victory, but I'm sure we will get it very soon, if not the next season. You know, it's a long time coming, and we will then go and win the FIFA Club World Cup as well. And of course, you know, with the young team, it's gonna be great. And hopefully the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya will be resigned, you know, having it out alternate with Spa-Francorchamps is a real pity. I mean, the flags look almost the same, both iconic circuits, but both I think deserve a permanent place on the Formula 1 calendar. So, everybody, this was it. Now all we can say is that Forza Barça, we love racing, we love Formula 1,